Good afternoon, guys, everyone. It is 8th of November, Sunday, beautiful weather outside. I hope everybody enjoys in a good health. We are here together with our international students. We're going to talk a little bit about how the things are going on, and it's going to be a kind of orientation right before the exam for all of you. Now I am here with my dear student, Onur Mert, this afternoon. He is going to ask some questions, and those questions are going to be kind of, explanation for all the mysterious questions that you have in your mind, I guess. Let's start with Onur.
Okay, I will start with the absenteeism question. My friends are asking, what is the maximum amount of absenteeism?
Okay, so, well, some of my students are writing me that, and they say, what is my rights? Well, actually, there is no right. There is, okay, let's put the theory down because okay, so there is no right actually to not show up in classroom because due to the pandemic conditions, we this year we designed a 1 day in a week system. So according to system, we divided the classes into five, and then each of day that one the group from the classmates that are coming and visiting the physical classroom, and the others are following the class from the home. So that gives everybody the chance smelling the air in the school, and it's very important, and knowing professors by personally. And it's also, we pay lots of attention to this. Otherwise, it can create some kind of, communication problems, most probably related with the attitude, that it is very important in medicine teaching and learning. Now, as I say, there is no right like that. But what is it? It is actually an excuse that you can use in, some emergency conditions. It could be health related. It could be kind of an accident. Hope never happens such things. But yes, there is a possibility as long as you just present an excuse and present this in a written email, that the emails are shared before with classmates and WhatsApp groups. If you do this, we can consider this. Otherwise, you have to be in classroom on day that you are invited. Otherwise, there is no chance then not to come. I think you shouldn't, I mean, when I say you, my class, mates and my friends from the school shouldn't pay a lot of attention to this because it's kind of protective measure for all of them and for us at the same time. Okay.
Exactly. The other question is, where can we join the exam? Do
Okay.
we have to come to school or hospital, or we can join it from home?
Exams are going to be from home, online. Online exams are, in our experience, since the last year the pandemic started first time, and we got lots of experience for this, and we have a secured online exam system on it. And this system, you just open up your laptop or whatever the computer you prefer, and it must be occupied with a camera and a microphone. And at the same time, camera and microphone turns on when you get into the system, log into the system of CAPES, and then exam starts right after some clickings and necessary things, and then exam runs. The exam time is about 100 minutes. We give for 100 questions. It's a standard. Last year, we tried 10 question blocks, and we were just having a chance to rotating inside of those blocks. But this year, it's not going to be issue. So you're going to have entire exam starting from first till the 100th question. You prefer whichever that you can start. And go back, go forward, rewind, and it's possible. And exams are going to be held in homes or wherever you prefer to get the exam. Okay.
Okay. What are the internship opportunities abroad, and who can guide us through this? pathway?
Well, internship or clerkship, it depends because internship actually happening, it's a kind of confusion. I know birds are confused in this issue because there are several, concepts. One of them is observership, clerkship, and internship. Internship actually happening in our country and other European and States countries. It's kind of last year program that at the sixth year that you guys are going and being an intern doctor. And honestly speaking, it's very difficult to make this in somewhere else or abroad. However, because of the Erasmus programs that we are registered as university, you can prefer one of them. Even though you prefer neither of them and somewhere else, that we can give you a bona fide and the letters of recommendations, so you can go and spend 6 months or a year or something like that. Depends that your agreement. However, I wouldn't suggest and say that it's proper for you because before the fourth or fifth phases, let's say in the first 3 years, neither of those universities programs are fitting each other, our universities programs. So there are no similarities. Because of this, when you come back, you're going to lose time. Perhaps we're going to ask you to go back and take the same year again in Maltepe University. So it's not nice. And not to do this, you have to just try the Erasmus exchange programs at the fourth or fifth year. That would be better to not lose the time at least. Okay.
Yes, of course. How will the exams be held? This was another question from Turkish
What do you
discussion.
mean? How? A little bit
Like
explain.
online and the
Exams?
question distributions. Yes.
Oh, okay. So, you're just getting exam because of the many topics that you have been through in the committees, and those committees are depending from first to fourth for the first year. There are several, different topics starting with four, sometimes 11. It depends. But the main logic behind the question formula, it is depending on, and there is a correlation, linear correlation. If you get more hours from one topic, you're going to get more questions in exam. So of course we know the numbers of questions, but as I told you, it depends the time that you just spend in hours in lectures. Because of this, lecture hours and numbers might slightly change from one year to the other. Our class coordinators are working on it, and they will be most probably tomorrow and right before the exam, the last Monday, we share the information and deliver the information, how many questions from which topic that you're going to face. In exam is just prepared by the system that we say CAPE system. CAPE system mixes the questions, and each students are starting with different questions with different presentation or order of the choices. So choices are switched and changed the order, and also questions are changed. So we can theoretically say that there are exam booklets is the same number of the questions. But in practicality, what is the meaning of it? No one is going to make the same question at the same time, most probably. So you just come across from one cluster, let's say it starts with anatomy, and then you're going to continue the anatomy questions. We don't mix them with the other, disciplines. You start and finish one discipline in a mixed order. And at the end, when the time is over, let's say 100 minutes, exam closes down your screen. And also, one of the things that my classmates are supposed to pay a lot of attention, you shouldn't open another new, let's say, tab or page from the Explorer. If this is the case, exam shuts you down, it kicks you out, and then you
Yes.
lose time and try to just reach us, we just put you back, and that's a lot of time that you're losing. Instead of that, you shouldn't try this. Okay, it's
Yes.
a secure exam. I mean, your entire screen, your face and your microphone are recorded, and at the same time by proctors. Proctors are observers that they are looking at you, and if they see something, let's say suspicious, and you're just talking to someone or just checking a book or something like that, they just take notes, never interfere your exam, but it's going to be cheating anyways, and no one wants to do this. Yes, Onur?
Right. What about the passing grade and the percentages of committee exams?
Okay, so passing is, we calculate the passing score by end year score. The end year score actually calculated with a certain formula. That formula tells us get the mathematical average of the in-year exams. Let's say you're gonna get 4 exams. We just get the average of them, simple average, and take the 60% of this, and then get the 40% of your final grade and mix them, calculate them. If the result is 60 and over and above, let's say, you're going to pass. In other words, during the year, in each of those 4 committees for the first year, if you would like to talk, you can get whatever you want. There wouldn't be any problem. If you get a, let's say, 30 or 100 or 50 or 40, we're just going to pay attention to the result, the average. If the average is good, you're going to pass. But of course, there is a logical explanation. If you get lower results, then the next exam you must get much, much higher than average. The smart student gets average points always. I'm not saying that if you're just having lots of, ideas and you're just very enthusiastic about studying and things like, if you're a smart and, kind of geek student, it's okay. You always get the top scores. We're not talking to that. But for the average student, getting average results from in year each of those committees, it will be protective up to the end of end year score. If you get, kind of lousy scores, let's say less than 30, it will be, it will make your situation very difficult and risk. And they're going to put you in stake, very risky
Yes.
position at the end of the year. So no one wants this, I guess. And because it's the time that I would like to remind you, the first 2 committees in this year is very important, because the first 2 committees are easier than the third and fourth one. And because of this, you should take benefit on this and try to get the higher scores from first 2.
Yes.
That's it. I just
Can I
recommend,
ask
highly
you
recommend.
something?
Yeah, go ahead.
The questions out of nowhere, I
All
just
right,
think about it.
go ahead.
What if we get 100, in all 4 committees and
So the
get a
average is
zero
going,
on
your
final
average is
exam?
going to be 60. I mean,
Yes.
you're gonna get 100. 400
Uh-huh.
divided by 4, it's gonna be 100. But we are not
Yes.
getting 100, we're getting 60 only, because 60% of it. And if we get 0 from the final, it's a very extreme example and very frustrating example, I guess. And I mean, you're gonna fail, of course. How could it be
How?
otherwise? Yeah.
How can we fail?
So 60 from the in year and 0 from the, yeah, you have slight chance theoretically to pass. Yeah.
I
But let's
mean, is
say,
there
let's say,
any
let's say
minimum
if you,
point?
let's say if you make kind of 98 or something in one of them instead of 100, that would be very risky. I wouldn't say, I mean, suggest to do this. If you are
Yes.
smart enough like that, you should also pass from the final.
Yes,
Yes,
of
you
course.
can. You can pass. No one comes and says that you got 0 and you have to fail. No, it's not like that, sir. You pass.
Right.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Don't do it, but
I
you
won't.
have a
I won't.
you have a potential to honor, Mert. As far as I see you, I think you want to try something, extraordinary in your life.
Yes, I would like to be extraordinary, sir.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
I we have a question about the, I don't know the exact word, but advisor teacher or something like
Hmm.
that, who
Yeah,
can
it's
mentor
the
us.
correct word is mentors. And
Mhm.
mentor system is running in our university in faculty. But in the first year, let's say in the first half of the year, I mean, all of you guys are going to be my students in terms of mentoring. But nowadays, when we just come close to the, interim period, everyone is going to be divided and distributed into the other professors. So then there are many professors, basically from basic science, because we guys are so much, interfere and together all the time. And we're gonna get all of you going to get different professors as mentors. Yes, it will be.
All
But
right.
now officially I am all of yours mentor
All
for the
right, sir.
time being. Am I happy from this? One side, yes. And flip side says no, because there are so many. Yes.
It's exhausting thing, I guess.
Mhm.
What is the vision and mission of medical faculties, Faculty of Medicine, I mean? What are the main principles we should embrace?
It's we can say something in general that can be applied for any of those medical schools all over the world. But if we just put them aside and let's be, a little bit specific about the Maltepe University Medical Faculty, here we are, our dean and the other, managers and the management committee. We pay a lot of attention to integrity. Because of this, we believe the medicine cannot be, run remotely. So then it's a very tragic situation that all of us, because of this pandemics, that we try to do our best. It is not
Yes.
the it is not the best, but we are trying to do our best. The best thing that you should come each day, be in interaction with your friends at the same time with your professors, come into labs and classes, but it's not possible. So, what is our vision specifically for this period of time? Try to do the best and keep the attachment strong with our students. And because of this strong attachment, we try to exchange the information how to be a doctor, not only the knowledge, but also the attitude. This is
Mhm.
mostly we pay attention. Yes, Onur.
How can we be more interactive during the classes, like
Well,
online
being
classes?
to be more interactive, you need to be more knowledged because, of course, you're not going to ask about the international politics or would like to talk something else. Yeah, sometimes it could be, but the main thing that you're going to ask scientific questions, the points that you couldn't understand, or you would like to just mention something or stress something that you think it's important. So to be able to do this, you have to read and come to class. Otherwise, how can you do this? So in our system, like the others, universities all over the world, student comes to class, no matter if remotely or physically, and expects to learn things by opening the brain and putting everything inside. But it doesn't work like that.
Yes.
Okay, so anyone comes to classes or joins the classes with this expectation, there wouldn't be proper expectation to get the best result or get the most out of the classes. To make this, you have to read a little bit right before. No matter what, it could be lecture notes, it could be textbook, the reference textbook they given to you, or if you got nothing else, you can just Google it and read Wikipedia. That's okay. So then it gives you in-depth, picture while you're listening your professor. But I must say that because this is also a new experience for us, this remote thing. I'm just joining different classes. Also, I'm joining to seminars that to learn things because there is no limit to learn. There is no age. There is no limit. And still, I'm joining some seminars and classes and try to learn things remotely. The most important or biggest problem from my point of view, you're lost. You're just sitting in front of screen and someone talks there like an avatar talking head and you're just looking at and sometimes your atmosphere changes, someone comes and goes, says something, phone rings. So it's a real distraction. I mean, this
Yes.
is this is pitfall, but there are also some positive things and chances and the things that we can get most out of it. One of them is that these are all recorded lectures. So it's a very nice opportunity that you can go back and rewind and replay it anytime that you want. But also, like everything, same time, having pros and cons. It's beautiful. You can go back and record and take notes and listen to again and again, but also this is time losing.
Yes.
If you have chance properly coming into class and listening to your professor, you know that there won't be any repeat unless you take record something. Then I just wouldn't suggest any of you because it's time losing. And then you just make up your mind and put everything into your table and take notes and try to get and follow everything during the class, and that means that you're learning in class. But in this system, although there are some pros, but also cons, the most con is you just say that, okay, I might be distracted now, but I can follow later. So this is the beginning of disaster actually, because each time you go back and try to read and listen to again all the classes, you're losing each time unless you just play it multiplied by 2 or 3 times from YouTube. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
please pay those kind of things attention.
All right.
What else, Onur? It's a very sunny day
Oh,
today. Yeah.
yes,
In Louvre
so sunny.
Museum. Okay.
As a class, we demand that slides to be uploaded before lecture so we can, you know, work on
I
them,
know,
as you
I
said.
know, I know. This problem is a chronic problem. Since many years, I'm just asking my professors and my colleagues that let's prepare something, but they are right from one point on, and they say, "What about the loyalty rights?" Because like me and all of us are using different pictures taken from somewhere in the internet or from books and
Yes.
different sources. We use those pictures and diagrams, sometimes texts, so then sharing them like they are ours, it's creating or multiplying them and distributing them to students, creating kind of loyalty problem. So we are living in a universe or world that it's a very, fast everything. It's not like that like 30 years ago. If you just put something in the internet, it's all over everywhere. So you have to be very keen on this, and you have to be very, careful about it. They are right. They are kind of, cautious about it, and they are concerned about those loyalty rights. This is one thing that why they don't want to give them. Second thing, like me, for example, while I'm running the class, I'm learning some weak points from the class and the points that no one understood actually, and I'm going to add something as an extra material into the class and then share it. That's also something.
Yes.
But I understand your concern, my students' concern. Yes, it is. It would be very nice having a prepared and preloaded material that you can follow it, because our biggest problem while following the class is the material. We all want to follow the professor, what it says. At the same time, we would like to find the same thing on our material. And then we try to make a correlation between, and anytime we know that I can go back and find the things in written manner here. So it's a very understandable human side that we, depending on the material that we hold in hand, without this, we feel ourselves kind of lost. We are not prepared like that. I mean, our
Yes.
whole education system from the very beginning gives us a material in the beginning, and then we open it up and we follow the same thing in between and try to make some bridges in between. And we try to learn through those bridges. And if we do nothing and give the lecture notes at the end, that's kind of, a weak bridge to prepare or build the information. I understand, but the real situation, some of our professors are not going to do it. Some will
Yes,
be.
sir.
Some can share some textbooks, reference textbooks that before the class start, and then you go and read them and try to put some extra information right before or after the class. Yes, I am one of them. I just suggest some reference books and then expect you guys read it.
All right, sir. the discussion lessons is another issue. Before the exam last week, we need to
Yeah.
like repeat something with the teachers.
Yeah, it's very helpful and very understandable because what I assume till the last week, you already been through the class material. Let's say for physics or something that you try to, solve the problems and try to find a solution with the issues. And then you decided that you're not going to solve them, take notes and try to ask the professors it next time. So that's why, including Necla Hoca is one of the beloved physics professor, she is going to prepare a class, and I can just say that next week, this week actually, starting with this tomorrow, she's going to probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, she's going to
Yes.
prepare some discussion class, and the others also, the other professors. The key point is please just go and ask them. Okay, go and ask individually. So please, professor, we are in a position that we would like to just put the things in order. We're going to be much better, stronger if you just make that kind of final. No matter what it's in a program or not, we can just create and put some class. No problem. Okay, just ask them
Okay.
individually. They are not going to say no. No one
Yes, of
says no.
course.
Mhm.
What about the connection interruptions
During the exam.
while no during the online classes?
Oh,
And
okay.
sometimes audio gets distorted and
Yeah.
it's like that.
Okay, there are two type of professors for the time being that giving and delivering their lectures. Some of them, because of some pandemics reasons or try to be in quarantine, they just prefer staying home. And obviously, even in my home, the internet sources are not strong as the university's campus internet connection. Each classes that in physical classes that I make in university, in our physical classes, I try to get the, speed test. And each time, without, any exception, I see like 360, 400 megabit per second speeds, and
Yes.
almost same. It's interesting because sometimes it's a one quarter or half of it normally, almost same speed that we got to upload. So which means it's most probably what we have in universities, the T1 or T2 type of backbone internet connection. So it's strong. So I wouldn't expect any problem. I mean, occasional problems are exception. Sometimes professors having problem with their, connection with the headphone or
Yes.
microphone thing. If they prefer to use the computer microphone, then it's going to be disaster because anytime that you go back and just loses the connection, reception becomes problematic. But if they use Bluetooth connection for headphones, like similar to this, what I use for the time being, the sound is crystal clear and nothing happens. I mean, knock on wood, nothing happened to my classes during this new semester. Each of my classes recorded perfectly. Yes, there are sometimes we got some problems, technical problems for second or minute, but we just solved them. And interestingly, when you go back and replay the class, the sound is much better. I don't know why. At the same time, while you're just trying to get it online, it looks like, laggy. But if you just get it and repeat it later on, it's not like that. So, I mean, nobody's perfect. We're trying to do our best. Yes, there are some problems related with, sometimes these problems are unbearable. Like I know with some professors, it happens, but we try to solve. Okay, so
Right.
at least I know any professor recording their classes, giving the live classes from university, it's not going to be the issue because it's a huge speed there. There is a huge speed there, internet speed. If
Yes.
anyone that says that I cannot listen to, it's totally broken, laggy, I understand nothing, please just give me the information so I immediately go back to professor and ask them record again. There's no other
All
chance
right.
because if it's broken, we cannot fix it. I cannot talk like a doubling on top of what he says. So we have to record it again. Yeah, I know it's sometimes for professors it's kind of, uh, trouble, but this is our job that we have to do, and we have to be in a helping position to all my students. Yeah, Onur?
How can we take a day off if we feel sick before our school day?
Okay, now once a week you have school day,
Yes.
and the other days you're joining the class online from home or wherever you are. Now, the showing up from those home and physical classroom is different. But all same, one thing that you should inform us. If you're not going to be able to join the class, you just cannot take this decision by yourself, or you can, but you have to inform us in advance, not after. So, which we expect writing you an email and saying that from this and that reason, of course, it should be an acceptable excuse. And then I'm not going to be able to follow the class online, but I'm going to follow it in, from the recording later, and then send it. So we are in the middle of accreditation procedure. It's a national accreditation council that's following us and observing us. And all the things, related with the showing up or attending the classes must be very transparent and explainable and understandable at the same time. So to be able to accountable, you have to send us emails of excuses, no matter what the excuse, but it should be acceptable. You
Yes,
can
of
say,
course.
I'm sick, I cannot follow the class, I feel so bad, I have to sleep, I have to get to bed, into the bed, but I'm going to record and I'm going to follow the recording later. Please excuse me, type of petition sent officially to our official email addresses, not from the WhatsApp, not to me. Okay, I'm not in a position that say yes or no for those kind of, requests. Then again, it's okay.
All right.
We are all adults and we are just doing the things from one side, you guys, and the other side from us. So we all, if we come together and do things together at the same time, synchronize, it makes something. Otherwise, it's useless. So we have some responsibility, like how we inform you guys. If we got some problem, we cannot make the class and inform you. And you have to inform us if you don't, if you're not going to come to class or going to be able to follow from home, just inform us by an email. That would be okay.
All right. So,
Yeah, Onur?
what about skipping the questions and going back to see the
Hmm.
questions? Actually, you've just answered this, but
I repeat again. Now I know it's a downtown rumor because it was like that. In the beginning, last year, we just gave 10 questions blocks, and then everybody was kind of distressed because of those 10 question blocks. We were trying to make it, more secure way, or just giving the chance, rotating inside of each of those blocks and not going back. And because we have responsibilities on that to your patients and to the public health. What patients maybe 5 years later, 6 years later, you're going to deal with the patients and get some diagnose and write the treatments and recipes and give some medicines. Each of them are going to ask and request health and care from each of you, all the patients. So we have responsibility from these days to your future patients. So because of this, we have to make the exams in an accountable and observable and very transparent way. For example, anyone comes and says, okay, you made this, how did you stop the cheating or copying? What did you do just to avoid this? So we have to be able to just give some, measurable features that we did this, we did that, and we. So of course, anyone wishes strongly, no one can stop who wants to cheat. It's not an issue. We are not at there. Where we are, we
yes,
just would like to be in a systemly complete, not individually. We are not paying attention individually. He is the cheater, he is the honest, he is the cook. So it's not like that. We are paying attention to our system. System's supposed to be secure as possible. and then we're going to make our exams through this. So if you just cannot give the answer during the exam, one question, just skip it. There is a chance that you can put a red flag. So if you put the red flag, the question goes to the red flag directory, and you always see how many questions in the red flag directory you have on your screen. And then anytime you go back and choose the question and answer it, nothing happens. There are actually two chances that to register your answers during the exam. You can say either save or next. Okay, so there are two buttons. One says next question. For example, the question comes in front of you on screen and gives the question, root of the question, and the choices down there. And neither of them, of course, obviously going to be chosen when it comes to you the first time. And then you decide to choose one of them and just sign it. And then anytime that right after doing this, if you just click the button of next, it will be registered as it is. How did you do it? Okay, if you just say
Yes.
A, it will be A. No one can change it later. But there is another option that to register it. If you just choose the A, for example, then you can say save and then next. But it's kind of time losing. So basically we suggest our students at the very end question, save it, then finish it. Okay. However, in between the questions, there is no differences between the save button or the next button.
All
I
right.
know there are lots of rumors. Questions are so, I mean, some of the students are so many, I mean, they are so frustrated when the exam finishes. They think that I did everything correct. And the result comes in a couple hours, and how could it be possible? They cannot believe their eyes that what the point that they get. Actually, honor merit, it's completely closed. I mean, the system that there is very few chance that to go things wrong in system, because system is so simple, gets the correct answers of yours, calculate them and give your point. That's it.
All right.
And normally nothing happens. But there are things that happening during the exams because we've been through those. For example, you lose the connection, internet connection. If you lose the internet connection, then you lost. And then you just write the situation from the WhatsApp group, because we just allow you guys writing WhatsApp group to us if there is a technical problem, but not writing to your classmate, what was this question's answer, something. Okay. So if it is the case, we get you back into the exam, and then you just reload your page and the exam comes again. And the point that, or the page that you start, the page that you lost the connection at the same time. So you continue from the point that you stopped. Okay, nothing goes. System so secure unless you click the choice. If you click something, it's registered. Nothing happens.
All right.
Okay. There are
Nice.
things happening on our Met. I tried once to get into an exam, like student. At the fourth minute, it's a real story. I lost my power. I mean, the utility gun, power, failure. So it was a laptop, but the modem didn't work, and
Yes.
then I lost connection. So these kind of things can happen. I mean, we are living in a country that kind of, infrastructures could be weak somewhere. I mean, area by area, it could be different. So we know our realities. We are not so, so strong and being keen or difficult on those. We're going to be helpful, okay? Unless everybody is so genuinely, let's say, honest and open. So there
Of
wouldn't be
course.
problem. We want you to pass your class,
All right.
okay? We want all of you pass your
Ah.
classes.
All right. All right. I
Otherwise, no
couldn't
one
hear. Sorry.
thinks. Yes.
Yes.
Any other question on the mat?
How about the demo exam?
Oh, so yes, this morning and yesterday, I just talked to technical people, Sevgi Hanım from the Capes, and just we agreed to create an open and demo exam tomorrow, probably afternoon it could be, or early afternoon, noon time, because what we planned for English and Turkish groups separately to make an hour discussion. She and me, we are going to just going to contribute into, and all of you going to just join this
Mhm.
discussion. And any questions can be asked, and we try to give the examples. And say again, I'm going to share some pages, and those pages will be very helpful for you. But also at the end of this, in noontime and afternoon, we're going to make a demo exam. Demo exam is going to be kind of uh, giving all the answers for us and all the problems that possibly you're going to face in exam related with your technical infrastructure. And because it's time that, let me tell my classmates and students, please do not overload your computer. If it's a laptop, don't go and just mess around the YouTube and all the long videos, because they just create a trace in your cache or history. So then it becomes larger, and because of the Windows system, it just keeps everything in, and then it becomes slower and slower and slower. So it would be very nice to make a cleaning in your computer today, tomorrow, this week. Delete all unnecessary files, delete your cache, delete your history, and not to get into all unnecessary things right before the exam, and shut down all the antivirus programs before the exam. They are creating huge problem. And only the exam starts with, or exam runs with the um, internet, what is it? Chrome Explorer,
Chrome Explorer.
not Internet Explorer, okay? Not the Microsoft's one, not the Opera, not the, let's say, uh, Safari or something. That you need Chrome and the latest edition, please check it. If it's not, download and just get the newer version. That kind of things will just make your problems, possible problems, less. Okay, Oliver.
Yes. I want to ask you something
Yeah.
about the exam. Our microphones will be open, and
Mhm.
can we hear our friends' voices?
During the exam.
Yes, because all the microphones are will be open.
Okay, system is not like that. System just works. We can hear you, not your friends.
Okay.
That would have been
Because
marvelous. Yeah, I know. That would have been marvelous. Just copying all together. That would have been nice. It could have been teamwork at that time, but it doesn't work like that. There are proctors. Proctor means observer. Observers are going to watch 4 or 5 students each on screen. And of course, those proctors are your professors, and then they're going to get some notes according to your the facial expression, or your eye rolling, or if you do things somewhere else, or if you just talk to someone, because we hear what you talk, and then everything is recorded. Then no one is going to say you that stop, you lost the exam, it's going to be cheating, and then you're going to be kind of problem with that.
all right.
So give the allowance to Chrome with for your microphone and the camera, because sometimes it's a problem, and if you just blocked already, open up them. Give the allowance to Chrome to reach and use your camera and the microphone.
I
So
think
we
we
got
can enter the exam until we give that permissions to Chrome.
yeah. If you do, there wouldn't be problem. And actually,
Yes.
tomorrow during the demo exam, everything will be understood whether there is
Yes.
a problem or not.
All right.
Yes, Onur.
What about the practical lessons? We have lab lessons, and how are how will we attend to them, and
Well,
etc.
the lab hours are our problem, because we don't want to make that kind of lab hours with you guys. We want you, each of you, and try to show you in a very close relation, but it's not possible in pandemics. So we are following the rules and advices of YOC. You know what the YOC is? It's our country is the National Centralized University Coordination Center. And they say that you cannot put your students into lab to just share the microscope or the material that you use mutually in the laboratory. For example, models, anatomical models, for example, microscope, for example, a tube or material that you're going to use, a device, a tool. So because of this, we decided to make those lab hours in your amphis. I mean, physical classroom. So it's larger, bigger, and your professors and assistants are going to be there and show the things that normally you do in laboratory, but you're not going to do
Yes.
it. If, for example, it's a histology, you're going to see the pictures showing up on, the presentation on uh, barcode, and then you're going to get the notes, but only the students that invited the same day, not the
Yes.
others, and the others are going to join the class from their home. So the theoretical plan going to be applied to labs same. Okay.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. We are exchanging the day and rotating it of the weekdays in 2 weeks time because of the pandemics. So this week is not the time to rotate. Next week we're going to rotate. For example, which day you're coming school, Oliver?
This week I will come to school on Tuesday.
I'm not going to school. Okay, on Tuesday.
Yes.
So use Tuesday. So if you just came last week Tuesday, this week again Tuesday. it
Yes.
will be it will be Wednesday next week. So in 2 weeks time, we rotate you guys. So then if you just plan and schedule Tuesday, please come to Tuesday. But also I strongly recommend follow the announcements from the WhatsApp, because sometimes some of us getting, quarantine as professors, and then we just look, and if there is only 1 hour that's not, feasible to ask you guys come for 1 hour, we just cancel everything and put everything on, online. If it's
Yes.
the situation, just check before coming. Sometimes situation happens and we understood one night before.
Yes.
It's life. Okay, what else?
I have a last question.
Okay.
Last week before the committees, we need to, study everything, and we don't want to
Come to school.
attend to new classes and
Yeah, yeah.
learn new things.
Yeah,
And
you're
like that.
right. You're right. I wish the same thing if I were in your shoes. Same exactly. Everybody writes about it. Definitely, actually, normally, and we give this 1 week before or the exam week totally study hours. So you don't have to come to school. If you wish, you can visit the library or study together. But normally, in a normal time, not in first committee, I'm saying, and you're gonna get a whole blank week to make your rehearsals and studying. But this committee, because we started very late, we had to put some lab hours and limited number of classes for the into the last week. It was a necessity. Otherwise, it was going to lab all the way down to the entire year, and we didn't want it. We want to just finish it at the first committee with a little bit compromisation, and this compromised from the last week. That's why we have classes last week. It won't be like that again.
All right. Thank you, sir. That was all.
Yeah, it's all. Okay,
Yes.
I would like to just say good luck. Break a leg in your exam and please get good
I hope we all do.
results. Yeah, because the first and second exams are so crucial for you guys to get a
Yes.
better result. It's going to make a more comfortable life at the end. Okay, I wish all of you good luck. We're going to see each other tomorrow in demo exam and discussion class, hopefully. And we can share some things at there also. And also, I would like to thank you for you to because you come up and step up and say these things. Let's do. And I just really, appreciate that you made possible those videos. Thank you. And
Thank you,
this one
sir.
is exclusively shot for our international students. I hope all of them benefits on this and gets good and great results because we really pay a lot of attention to them.
Yes.
All right, I am going to just stop the recording now and end the session. Thank you very much
All right,
again,
sir.
Onur. Hope to see you soon. Have a good day. Have a good
See
Sunday.
you soon, sir.
Bye-bye.